I mean, guys, you have to give me a break at some point. I am the #1 glazer on the internet, and even I'm starting to run out of things to say. Like, Donk is just pretty good at the video game, and Team Spirit have taken back-to-back championships today as they sweep the Mongolz in yet another best-of-5 win, winning the Blast Bounty. Even though it was a 3-0 affair, as you'll see throughout this video, or if you caught it live, the Mongolz were heartbreakingly close to winning both the first and second maps, and only really faded down the stretch on Ancient. They did really good at points of holding Donk in check, and really only seemed to fall short in the fact that 910, who's usually been so reliable in these situations, played one of his worst series in quite a while. Spirit are separating themselves as the new #1 team in the world. The question is, how long is that going to last, and what can teams do to stop them? Let's find out. If you guys enjoy this kind of content, you can show me by leaving a like, leaving a comment down below, subscribing to the channel already. Help me hit 10K subs by the end of the year. And this is it. If you want to hit my goal of reaching 1,000 followers on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/LionHeartZ2, we need 64 brand new followers. So take a second, go over, and help me reach that goal. And lastly, I would like to thank today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey, a CS2 trading website. You put in the skins that you want to trade, you select what you want, you use my code LionHeartZ for up to $5 off, or click the top link in the description, and boom, new drip.
Nice.
You can also use my code for a 35% deposit bonus if you want to buy with real money. And they have a free section with cool giveaways. So check the top link in the description, use my code to buy 15 Dragon Lores to let them know I sent you their way, and thank you to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Jumping straight into the analysis, our first map was played out on Nuke, and this was incredibly back and forth, with the Mongolz shining in the head-to-head on gun rounds specifically. One thing to note throughout this entire series is that the Mongolz didn't win a single pistol round, and despite that, at least on Nuke and Mirage, these games were as close as they could have been. Had Mongolz secured even one of these pistol rounds, I actually do think that would have been enough for them to take one of these two early maps. And for them to make both of these maps so close in spite of that really speaks to how well they are operating as a unit right now. And again, that's with 910 unusually struggling and looking unconfident in his op shots throughout this first map. Take a look at round 4, where the Mongolz was yet to put a round on the board, and they're finally coming into their first real full buy. They had a couple of saved Galils, M4s, all the nades, op on 910, and right out the gate, Donk and Zontics are combined for a double kill that's going to instantly put them on the back foot into a 3v5. But Techno seizes the initiative and pushes through into lobby and gets a pick into Squeaky for free and manages to escape with 12 health. And then really smartly, he makes a lot of noise going back to the site and then instantly walks back into lobby and catches his second pick on yet another player not looking for him. Mazinho gets a great double kill on the outside, leaving Zwei in a 1v3. Zwei rotates through Big Garage towards Secret, manages to find his first pick of the round on 910. He creeps up through Mini, walks onto the A site, clearing everything very efficiently, manages to spin on Mazinho coming out of the vents, and pulls the round back into a 1v1, but Techno is still perfectly positioned in the hut and just walks out on him during the bomb plant and gets the Mongolz on the board. The best way I can describe the pace of this game is that both teams were taking turns winning chunks of rounds. Spirit jump out to a 3-0 lead, Mongolz win 4 straight of their own to take the lead, and then Spirit would win 4 of the next 5 to close the half. Off the back of rounds where Mongolz really have no choice but to save, like here on round 8, Dropper uses his hacking powers to get the first pick on the player dropping vents, they rotate through for the ramp push, he takes another pick on Hell, and the remaining Mongolz players just disengage. It's a 5v3, Econ's a little tight, no point in going for that retake whatsoever. And of course, we haven't mentioned his name yet, but Donk is in the server, and in the very next round he shows up and does Donk things. This second shot on the player rotating through ramp is fucking disgusting. But once again, what are the Mongolz supposed to do? It's a disadvantaged situation, the retake's really difficult, you might as well save and see what guns you can take into the next. With the lack of pistol round wins for the Mongolz, they definitely fell behind really heavily as Spirit transitioned to their much stronger CT side. They found themselves at an 11-6 deficit at one point and had to battle back to make it as close as it was, and it came down to some very, very good execution in these gun rounds. Like here on round 18, where Shiro's going to get the first pick on the Mazinho about a minute in, Blitz is going to play a really good timing through credit card despite that and catch Donk on a wide swing through Hell, which opens up the ability for Mongolz to play a split through A with Presence in Heaven. Shiro repositions from outside all the way into Hut, with Spirit having secured lobby control, and from there he gets a very devastating double kill, leaving just Blitz and Techno in a 2v3. Techno takes a very ballsy step forward to get the plant down, knowing the time's not on his side, but Spirit don't challenge him on it, giving them room to work in the post plant. Techno takes a re-swing towards Hut thereafter and finds Shiro, and him and Blitz combine to find the remaining 2 picks to win this round back from a heavy disadvantage. They take the next round on a spirit save, so we cut ahead to round 20, and unfortunately, as is going to be an ongoing theme, you can contain Donk, but not forever, as there goes that man with no regard for human life with this insane triple kill in mini. Shout out to my GOAT LeBron James. And you would think from the Mongolz perspective that this is just raps because Donk has just cut your momentum at the knees and they're on match point, but no, the Mongolz bounce back in a very strong way. Blitz, like an absolute fucking maniac, leads the charge outside and on a smoke break on the way to secret, hits a Scream level 1-tap on Donk, just sits his ass down. I mean, I don't know, like, this is, in-game leaders are not supposed to hit shots like this, so this is just shit that Blitz does that nobody else can, I guess. Mongolz move downstairs, they're getting ready to take the bottom bomb site. Chopper does a good job of halting that progress by getting Blitz back in decon, but with Techno lurking outside, he catches his way on a timing, opening up the ability for his team to take A site control with the bomb coming up vents. Techno really smartly repositions into heaven, taking that ability for the rotate up from ramp to get there, and takes another double kill on the players coming up from the lower bomb site, and Shiro's unable to save in the back of ramp with the op. In the very next round, with Techno lurking around lobby with the Mac 10, he's going to take an opener on Zontix, overextending. Both teams are really stretched in on the economy, so the Mongolz are getting ready to try and break Spirit here. Donk drops down the vents and plays from the decon stairs. He manages to get a good pick on Blitz, but takes a dink from the Galil on the re-swing, allowing Mazzinho to push up aggressively right behind him, nade through single door onto the side, kill Donk, swing through the smoke and take out Shiro as well, putting Zwei and Chopper into a botched save attempt, where Zwei dies in trophy, then Chopper gets hunted down into CT spawn. Here are going to have to take the save after that, bringing us to the final round of regulation, with the Mongolz getting ready to send this bitch to overtime. Until Donk. And I mean this with like no exaggeration. There is literally one person in the world that I think can hit this kind of spray control with the M4A1S in a Molotov to get 3 kills, and I think it's Donk. I literally don't think anybody else, maybe ever, can control sprays deep into the mag as well as he can. Like, the chief difference between him and Kyosuke is Kyosuke plays a lot more like Nico, where he has this unbelievable, brutal, mechanical ability to hit the headshot in the first 5 bullets almost better than anybody else. Donk can do that too, but Donk is also hands down the best spray control player in Tier 1, without a doubt. And coincidentally, his only 2 rounds of real impact on the second half were triple kills that secured match point and then victory, despite the Mongolz' best efforts as we head into Mirage. Now, fair play. This was another 3-0 series, obviously, which is not ideal. We'd want more competitive finals, but this Mirage match was so close that it kind of makes up for it. This is the match to go back and watch if you missed the game live. I am not going to do it enough justice in this kind of video format, so I strongly urge you to do that if you haven't caught the game already. Big notes right off the top of my head. Donk did not meet expectations until the very end of this game. Shiro went God mode, ending with 30 kills and 15 op kills. Zwei had a ton of high impact rounds. And Blitz, I don't know. Blitz has like devil magic in the clutch. He's doing shit that legitimately boggles my fucking mind. But ultimately, the Mongolz did come up short. And I think looking ahead with how much of a stomp Ancient turned out to be, I think it's because the Mongolz kind of blew their motivation in this game in a way where really they probably should have walked away with the win. 9-10 maintained his struggles here, going for a paltry 6-11 on the CT side and 7-10 on the T side, leaving a giant gap in op effectiveness that really impeded the ability for Mongolz to move around the edges. He's just so important as a rotational piece on the CT side. He's had so many countless highlights defending the A side on the rotate off a window, and he was just not able to replicate that impact. Again, the Mongolz did not win a single pistol round here on Mirage either, and fell behind 0-4 early, and then swung that around to win 6 straight, totally boxing Team Spirit out of their otherwise usually impeccable CT side defense. The Mongolz did a really good job of working the slow, methodical mid control and not overindulging in the donk fighting connector. The first round they got on the board was off the back of very slow mid play, good picks from Senzu and Mazzinho, and then one of 9-10's only real highlight moments in the entire series, where he got a nice double kill low health through connector that sealed the deal for the round. It was just good, steady output with Blitz in the back playing cleanup or playing forward as the entry, kind of alternating those roles. And outside of a Shiro 4K with the M4A1 to really interrupt the momentum, it was just all Mongolz throughout the end of this first half. And then of course, Blitz had to add another notch in his holster to insane highlights in this event, finds himself in a 1v3 situation trapped at stairs. Shiro, who had just hit blinder after blinder with the op in this round, suddenly forgets how to hit Blitz, and Blitz specifically misses 3 total op shots, while Blitz turns around, guns down the fucking Spirit player coming out of CT, wheels back onto Shiro at the top of Tetris, takes him down, and then turns around and sits down the last player with a perfect one tap to end the half. Like, alright dude, I don't know. Like, Blitz does shit that legitimately boggles my mind. I think I had like 4 tweets in a row on separate rounds that were just, wow, Blitz just did something I didn't think IGLs could do. Like, the man is just fucking insane. Unfortunately for the Mongols, Shiro and to a lesser extent Zwei were just going sicko mode in the second half on the T side. Again, they kept Donk relatively in check. He ends the game with a 21-20 scoreline, and keep in mind that he gets 6-7 of those in overtime. Like, they kept him really off the board, and they prevented him from getting many multi-kills at all. It created this environment where this second half was very back and forth. It's just Spirit were managing to win 2 rounds in a row instead of Mongols' 1. Got to a situation where Spirit brought this all the way back and eventually took the lead 11-10 before Mongols could really come through with yet another clutch. This time it's a late A take, and most of the Mongols players are rotating through CT spawn. And then there's Blitz, who is just going to run through the fucking CT smoke, which no one would expect. Donk and Zontics have their back turned fully. He just peeks out triple and lances the 2 remaining rifles, leaving just Shiro with an op and Zwei with a deagle in a 4v2 off the bomb site. Like, once again, Blitz just does this workhorse shit for this team. Like, it doesn't matter if Senzu and 910 can't find a kill to save their lives. Blitz rises above all. But man, I'm not gonna lie, they kind of threw the very next round. You have Spirit stuck on 4 deagles, or I'm sorry, 3 deagles, a Tech 9, and an op, and you have everything you want. You got multiple AKs on the CT side, all the utility. This should be the Mongols getting match point every single time. Shiro gets an opener out A main after jumping on Zwei's head. Elsewhere, Donk goes down to Techno. The remaining Spirit players are hauling ass back to the B bomb site. Chopper gets a pick with the Tech 9. Shiro lurks up mid, dies to 910, and then Zwei steps onto the stage with the deagle from B apps, lands his 910 out of the round, jumps out, grabs the op, and gets the 2 remaining picks with the op on the rotating market players. That is just huge impact from this fucking rookie. I mean, we've been waiting for Zwei to break out, and now in back-to-back really pivotal Mirage games when Donk is struggling, it's been Zwei on the T side to really do a bulk of this rifling work, and it pays off in a big way. It puts Spirit in a position to potentially win the game early. In the very next round, Shiro nearly has one of the best aces ever. Like, legitimately, if Shiro had 10 extra seconds and just went to a different part of the B site, I think he would have killed Mazinho. And if he did, it's a 1v5 clutch to win the second map of a grand finals. That is some literal graffiti level shit. And much like Rops, Shiro is just one of the most exciting players to watch in a clutch situation like this, because his movement and decision making is almost always perfect. Like, the way he isolated his 1v1s here with the op just left little room for the Mongols to respond, and if it wasn't, again, for his gun model blocking Mazinho, that was the only thing saving the Mongols from damnation. Unfortunately, with that lacking impact from 910 especially, the Mongols really petered out in overtime. Really, their one, like, breath of air was yet again another insane clutch from Blitz, go figure. Unfortunately, in the very next round, Donk was done being on the sidelines and gets an amazing 4K defending the B site. If I had to give an analogy for how these first 2 games went, it feels very similar to Liquid playing Vitality earlier on, where Liquid were very much competitive. They kept up with Vitality on both of those maps they played and should have won, but was a handful of mistakes, a slight underperformance at the wrong time, that really ended up screwing them over and slamming the door shut. The Mongols could have and probably should have won both of these maps. Certainly, they should have won on Mirage, but with all that effort expended on the first 2 maps, it left them vulnerable for Donk to jump out to an early rush and flurry on Ancient, which is already a map he tends to feast on. Keep in mind that oftentimes when we've talked about Donk on Ancient lately, it's been in the context of playing Mouse. We're one of the most elite teams in the world at limiting his damage on the T side, but, you know, make no mistake, Donk is one of the most efficient and brutal T side players on Ancient in the world for a reason. After 2 very quiet first maps, only 21 kills, a lot of deaths, not a lot of success in the opening department, Donk walks out into Ancient and not only spearheads Spirit to a 13-5 win, he gets 23 kills, averages 143 ADR, a 2.26 rating, only 12 deaths. He goes 7-2 in openers, and of those 12 deaths, 6 of them were traded. He played an absolutely fucking flawless game that the Mongols couldn't compete with. This was the map where the Mongols seemed to lose their composure, they got buried and couldn't recover, there were some mind-boggling mistakes. The one round I gotta point out, and it really pains me to do so, but this round was just a comedy of errors. It's the second half, the Mongols are already buried in a 10-4 deficit. The round starts off with Senzu getting out mid and getting a good trade kill on the Donk. The problem is right after, the Mongols scramble to reassess and rotate through to A main, leaving 9-10 on a solo lurk job out mid, with nobody lurking B and nobody to cover his ass. So Chopper walks through his own cave smoke and gets a totally unassisted kill. Literally no man's land, and nobody there to even try to respond. The remaining players group up and continue the A main aggression, and admittedly, Mazinho gets a nice pick on the Zontix in front of Donut, which gives him side control, but another unforced error. Chopper sacrificed himself going through the Molotov to kill the planter, Mazinho just barely late enough to get the trade kill, but already with the damage done. From here, Mazinho I think calls the right thing. Blitz rotates all the way through B. He has the intel that B is free, so Mazinho makes a lot of noise running back through A main with the bomb, and then he pauses. He waits, he gives it about 10 to 20 seconds of space, and then walks back through to A, betting on the fact that the remaining Spirit players would double over towards B to cover the bomb site, which they do. Mazinho is able to get the bomb down for free, and about 10 seconds to reposition before Spirit even knows what bomb site it's on. He tucks into Donut and is given a gift. Zwei makes a critical error here. He doesn't clear Donut. Why Zwei doesn't clear Donut, I have no idea. It's incredibly fucking stupid not to, but he doesn't. All Mazinho has to do right now is shoot him in the back of the head. And he whiffs the spray. Oh my god. I was in the living room with my brother Justin, and we were watching this round go on, and when Mazinho gets into Donut, I'm like, oh, Zwei's not gonna check it. I literally hands on my head, oh no, Spirit are gonna throw this round. And then my hands leave my head and go straight into the air as Mazinho throws the easiest kill of his life. And then they go even higher in the air when Blitz walks through, gets full flashbanged, swings through looking at the wrong plant location, sees Shiro defusing the bomb, and doesn't shoot him. Just an unfortunate succession of errors, and it showed how rattled the Mongols were as Spirit wrap up the game not that long after. The Mongols are so close. They're gonna win a championship soon. It's very clear to everybody involved, but they just gotta shore up these tiny mistakes. And frankly, that'll come with time. This is literally the first best of 5 that this lineup has ever played. So it's a bit of a pressure environment. You're playing against Spirit. You're playing against, the best player in the world. The now #1 team in the world. Donk gets his 10th MVP. He is now tied all time with Kenny S and Get Right. Jesus Christ, man. This kid is just tearing down barriers every single time they win a tournament. We'll see what the future holds for Spirit. Obviously, the Tanier move is on the horizon. I don't know if that's going to shake anything up. But right now, with the game slanting more CT-sided, they're positioned to be the best team in the world for at least the next little while, as long as Vitality don't readjust right away. So we'll see how that progresses. I don't really have much more to say, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. There will be a channel update video coming either tomorrow or Tuesday. Keep an eye out for that. If you guys have enjoyed this content, you can show me by leaving a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, help me at 10K subs by the end of the year. Please, go follow me on twitch.tv/LionHeartZ2. Help me reach 1,000 followers by the end of the night. That would be a big deal, and I'd appreciate it greatly. Thank you, kids, so much for your response to this video. Check the link in the description. You go, yeah, you do that. Thank you, Skins Monkey. Thank you to my channel members, Justin, Jesse Frilly, Milan Berta, Bubblesj, Dr. Cocktor, Patatas Kaftesi, PTR, B1 Games, Cody Foxworthy, Just Vandermate, I'm Flashbang, Snowman White, Rowdy, Vergil'sPlasticChair, LBKcs, Snax Enjoyer, Crunchyroll, zerotwocs, drudenae, and our newest channel member, Kron. If you want to become a channel member, you can do so. The link in the description down below. $5 a month, you can support me directly, as well as get streaming in the video just like this, as well as a customer community Discord. Bye.